focus this week is, of course, Nomadland. And Nomadland is getting plenty of praise, plenty of hype. It is up for all the awards. It's actually winning all the awards. I think I predicted a while back, too, a couple episodes ago or whatever, that Nomadland will probably win everything. And I think when I said that, too, I said that it's a theater film, like it came out in theaters. Remember, because I was like, a theater film will still win. But actually, it's not a theater film. I thought it was, but it's not. It's actually a Hulu film. So it's a streaming film. It's out on Hulu right now. You can watch it. See you down the road. See you on down the road is the quote that sums up this movie. Is the line that sums up this movie. It's actually a line that ends the movie too. I'll see you down the road. And it thematically sums up the movie. I love the way that the film sets up our main character, Fern. Also, by the way, her name is Fern, like the plant, right? Is that symbolic of like the naturalistic arc of her character, like embracing the freedom of nature and minimalistic things and the land and America and life, and without all the typical materialistic high class regular life stuff? Is there a symbolic nature to her character's name is all I'm wondering. Maybe. I like the way she's set up in the film. We slowly learn her situation, right? And I like the way it was done kind of really quickly and smoothly in the beginning, like setting her up and the stakes and the story. I just thought it was set up very smoothly and quickly. All these little details in like quick scenes, right? Emphasized like what the story was going to become. This idea of like stripping it down, and it's kind of set up like quickly and nicely. And even like Fern herself as a character, like traits of her character that hint at what her arc is going to be. How she likes little things too. Like we just have like this scene with her like where she talks about things like that she likes to collect and stuff. It's like, why is that important? Because it kind of implies what her arc is about, stripping it down to little things and minimalistic things. The film, of course, has deep relevance for... Dude, I hit this a lot now. It has a lot of relevance. Again, it has a lot of relevance for sure, because the backdrop of this movie is in the post-Great Recession period. It's 2011 into 2012 this film takes place. Post-2008, post the Great Recession. And that is extremely relevant. Any film about our recent history, especially in terms of that, is vividly in our memories, right? And for someone like me, I've witnessed the struggles of people. My father struggled greatly from the Great Recession, so it's vivid for all of us. It is relevant. It's recent. Even if everybody can't relate to the struggles, some people didn't struggle during that, like other people did. But this film, that backdrop, totally planted in a certain reality that kind of resonates. The small details about that helped ground the story in a reality we can all relate to. So maybe like, for instance, Fern represents those who were greatly affected. And even the characters that she's surrounded with greatly represent that class of people that were deeply affected by the Great Recession. It's quickly clear that Fern is just getting by every way she can, every day, every week, every month. She's just getting by. So those are kind of the stakes of it. And she's already living out of her van when we meet her. I guess it begs the question, when things can't seem to get any better, trying to get back to where you were, is it not then better to go in another direction, in the opposite direction, in a simplistic, stripped down lifestyle? The place the story goes is hinted at early, and naturally, our protagonist rejects it at first. It all happens quick, but Fern says she's not going to go to this convention, this Nomadland kind of thing. She's not going to go to Nomadland. She tells her friend, I'm not going. So it's like a little mini like hero rejecting her journey kind of thing, and then she does, of course, end up going. And quickly she has to adapt to a new way of living, because the stakes for her that she can't keep her job. Right, she has this job at Amazon, she can't keep it because it's not a yearly thing, and and she and so she has to consider all options. And so when she does this, it's all narrowed down to like small little, like I said, minimalistic things, but the problems that arise from that are all things that I love, that we as people probably take for granted. And when you're in this situation, they're like the biggest problems of all, dude. Like her van breaking down, and for instance, is a good example. That might seem like something small that you go fix and then get on with your day, but that's her home, dude. Like, it's not just her ride; it's her home, it's her lifestyle, everything. And she even says, like, all the time and money I put into this van, into this home, it's not just something I can sell or give away. Like, that was big. That's a good example. Small conflicts for someone in normal situations become a full obstacle for Fern. Something like a tire popping, even. Like, they show that. Her tire is blown, and it's like a big crisis for her. She doesn't have a spare, and she has to deal with this. The writing, though, most of all, just it stuck out to me because it was able to get both story info and character development across in scenes effectively and quickly. And I just really love when movies can do that. The longer scenes are the most powerful, of course, but like when we spend a whole moment with a character and like really learn about them and what their life is like, and all in like a few minutes. But the small scenes, the quick scenes, really get across information and develop character in a very effective way, that I liked. I, of course, had a question I'm sure many watching had, which is, what exactly is the story building to, right? But at the same time, it really did just feel like an examination of an environment, a first-hand look at a way of life. So where it was going was less important than just spending moments with Fern and the others in their world. But for Fern, there's an arc. It has to be. She's the protagonist. So structurally, it kind of goes something like this, right? Holding on to the past, then taking a leap of faith, then adapting to a new lifestyle, and then accepting that lifestyle. It was kind of her arc, and structurally how the story plays out. But the most resonant thing about this story is that we get to experience what it actually means to be human on a different level, and what it means to be a person of these United States. A sense of community can come from anywhere, and home is a place that lives within yourself rather than being a word or a specific place. That early moment where the woman shows Fern her tattoos, right? And and we think, why do we need this in the movie? Why is this important? Ends up being the main theme of the whole movie, right? The idea that home is not a place but a feeling. It's not a word, it's a feeling. It can be anywhere. It can come from anywhere. It's a matter of community. It's a matter of connecting with other people. And so being a nomad is something that's reiterated throughout the film. Being a nomad most defines this idea. For Fern, her arc is her transformation into a nomad. And what is a nomad if not an American, a person with no physical home, but the very nation they live in? So America is the home of a nomad. Connecting with people and doing work all over that home, all over the country, staking your place in all these states. That's what it means to be a nomad, almost to be a true American. I like how they played with that. Like these people are almost more American than anybody. The conflict arises when Fern is unable to do what she's doing easily anymore. So that's kind of like a reversal kind of thing, like a midpoint twist kind of thing. When we have like her she has to actually question if this is suitable, if she's to question her home, her van. She's to question if it's something she wants to continue doing. When she right, with the van breaks down, she doesn't have the money to fix it, and then questioning whether or not she can really continue this way. I really liked the barbecue scene with her sister and her sister's friends because the story benefited from having perspectives about the '08 crash, kind of differing perspectives collide. Because it's true that not everyone can understand how difficult it was for some, while maybe not as much for others, that whole crisis. And in the end, I think for us, we have to learn who Fern really is because of that. I think just maybe we can't all relate, but we can all understand what that was like. And so I think having those perspectives collide was extremely important. Even if it's just one moment in this movie, it needed to be in this movie, 100%. And for Fern, I think it's important to think about this idea of her possibly being a nomad at heart all along. Like throughout her life, they play with this idea. And it means that she'll always be a nomad, even if she's not living like one. I think that was kind of a question that came up. But many times throughout the film, it's important for her to stay out there in the country, living. This is also best expressed by her struggling to sleep in a regular bed. It's something that happens a couple times. She can't sleep in a regular bed or in a regular house. And then she even admits it. The way she stayed, she even admits that she stayed at Empire for her husband, not for her. So I think at heart, she's always kind of been a nomad. So yeah, just this idea of letting go, for her, letting go of domesticity was kind of the main thing. Performance-wise, obviously, Frances McDormand manages to once again amaze me. I don't know, probably amaze many, but I think she's actually one of the most underrated actors. Because every time we kind of only hear about her when she's winning Oscars, but there's a reason she's winning Oscars. It's because she's fantastic. She's just a presence in this movie. It's all from her perspective. We stay with her the whole time. It was super powerful. Super powerful. Even if I'm sure some people were like, this is boring. I can see that, but you have to really just kind of go with it. It's not. It's very, very moving, in my opinion. Other things that stood out to me real quick, I just want to bring up. Going off of what my point was about this being an examination of a lifestyle, I just wanted to spend a minute talking about Chloe Zhao, the director, and how she filmed some of the scenes in a specific way to help emphasize this approach, right? She does this thing when a character is explaining something or describing something where she almost frames it in an almost informational kind of way, almost like a documentary interview or something, like just the way it's framed kind of makes it seem like the character's talking to us as much as they're talking to the other characters. They're talking directly to us. It kind of felt like that sometimes. There's no denying that Zhao has done a great job with the story. And other times she would strip down the filmmaking to an element of realism, almost guerrilla style. And I just thought it was brilliant. I really did. She did a fantastic job. Her and her cinematographer, just the way that they framed things, the lighting and the color all around. I really see. I'm a writer, so it doesn't really. I try to see those things, and I struggle to. But when I do, when I can really see it, I see it, and I'll bring it up. And in this case, it really struck out to me. Stuck out to me. Also, keep your eye out for Chloe Zhao and her next project, because she is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe family officially now. She is the director of the Eternals for Marvel, coming out at the end of the year or at the beginning of next year. The Eternals for Marvel Studios, she is the director of that. Also, if you look real quick in this movie, there is a nod to the Marvel Universe. Fern is walking past a movie theater, and the movie that's playing, it's 2012, so the movie that's playing in the theater she walks past is Avengers. So I thought that was funny. It was like a little nod. I think she did that on purpose. She definitely did that on purpose. So that is Nomadland. Definitely go watch it. It's really good. I actually, I guess I would describe it overall as a beautiful film. Sometimes you just gotta go and live, right? Nomads can't nest because they're too busy flying. It's kind of this idea. That final two shots, where she goes back and visits her home in Empire, and she lets it go. We just watch her leave, letting it go. She closes the gate, and then she drives down the road in her van. And then and then there's a quote at the end. It's like, "For those who had to leave, see you down the road." And that's what it's about. It's about like leaving behind domesticity and for this like freedom on the road kind of thing. Freedom in the land. It is a great film. My rating of the film is an 8.6 out of 10. It is a great film. It doesn't surprise me that it's winning things, and it'll win more things. My prediction, even for Best Picture this year.